Oh, hey, Alice. Thanks for joining us. You've come at a good time. We got Dusty McKee from The Reveal. Thanks for being here, dude.
Yeah, bud.
And joining us again, we got Jasmin Toubi from Shedonist.
It's Toubi.
Oh, your name's Toubi? I feel like I've called you that multiple times. You've not corrected me, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Toubi or not Toubi?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jasmin Toubi is here as well. Thanks for being here.
Thanks
You've
for
got,
having me.
yeah, of course. You're always welcome here. You've got a show coming up at Underdog.
Yeah, January 5th at the Underdog. First Fridays, every Friday in 2024. Every first Friday in 2024 at the Underdog. It's going to be a blast. All your friends are going to be there.
I did the first one, right?
Yeah, the first one, we did the songwriter round. So it's a songwriter round, an unplugged band, 2 full bands, and then a jam at the end. So
Sick
a
format.
little bit of
It is a cool
everything
format.
for everybody. And yeah.
Yeah, those are a blast. And then you've got a video coming out in January also.
A video for Black Hole, which the song is already out. You can listen to it. But we're gonna have a cool video coming out, and then a single and a video in February as well.
Hell yeah. I'm going to put links up to The Reveal and Shedonist in the description. If you don't know, you better ask somebody, because these are 2 very talented people I have with me tonight. Yeah, thanks again for being here. So you you were playing guitar a little bit at last whenever we were talking, and you were like, yeah, I'm mostly a bass player. I'm thinking, dude, you're really fucking good though. And then you played bass. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. You're like a phenomenal bass player compared. I mean, you're a good guitar player too, but now I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You said you're a drum instructor too?
Yeah, I started off on drums, and I eventually became like a drum instructor at a few high schools and like private schools. And through that time, my dad is a bass player, so I grew up next to that. So that's always just been there. I picked that up probably like 6 years after I started on drums. And I eventually just started messing around with guitar, and I've never I think every time I've played it, I'll play it for a couple of days, and then I won't pick it up for like a few months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I haven't really gotten better, but I've learned more. I've just written more songs, and I like the ideas and everything. It's just when you play drums for the 10,000 hour rule, if you've ever heard that, it's like I'm so much more confident when I do that, and I go up there. I feel like I don't have any restrictions or any fears. Like I can do whatever, and I'm not worried about it. Bass, I get up there. It depends what kind of music it is, but it's almost the same. But with guitar, I get on stage and I'm like, I feel like I'm 12 again. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm starting all over with a new thing, and I don't have that professionalism about it. And I feel like as an artist, like the business end of it is probably don't do that to preserve your professionalism. But the artist side of it is like, I do want to do this enough. You know what I mean? Everybody there was cool. I got to have a writer's round with just you. That was cool.
Yeah, I feel like you do because it's fun. Like, it's not just a business.
It's just tough because we're in Nashville, so everybody in the crowd is like, we're going to hear live music. We're watching people put on their show and give us their best, and it's like, no, that's not what. When I walked in, it was just her, Josh, Heather Thomas, and then like the bartender, and I was, fuck yeah. Like I was like, no one's gonna see. And then Josh was like, hey man, we're gonna wait until people come in to start. And I was like, oh.
It filled up. I honestly did not think it was gonna fill up. I was kind of surprised.
You talking about Underdog?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
I feel like First Fridays are just a place for friends to hang.
Yeah.
And jam and like.
And he does.
I'm really enjoying them. I think it's really fun. I mean, every time I've been to Underdog, it's just a vibe.
It's chill vibes.
There's been a lot of cool little things like that in Nashville where it'll just be like they usually last a few months, but there's been a lot of different ones. Rock and Roll Residency was one when I got here. It was the Mercy Lounge, which is closed now.
Yeah,
I've
rest
never
in
been
peace.
there.
Yeah,
Rest
but
in peace, Mercy.
the
Yeah,
attempt was that the whole rock scene would hang out, and then they did it at Bowie's a few years later, and I feel like First Fridays is a very similar format. to
Yeah.
that,
I
you
can see
know?
that.
Not
Yeah.
the structure of the show, but like the actual like idea of it, of
Mm.
like, hey, this is where it's happening. you know?
Yeah. Well, when we were back in LA, Josh had a residency type deal at this venue called Harvell's in Santa Monica. And it was like in the touristy part of the west side, but like there was no music really on the west side of LA. Like everything was kind of in east.
Hmm.
And like it sort of became a place where like everybody just like reliably knew like our friends are gonna be there. It's Friday fucking night, and like
Yeah.
there's gonna be good music, there's gonna be good drinks, there's gonna be good food. This month or in January we got food, so there's gonna be like food that you can get,
Mhm.
food, drinks, music, friends.
Hell yeah.
Friday night.
I love that y'all are doing that. So like when he had a residency in Santa Fe, was that like a similar thing? Like he
In
had a
Santa
residency
Monica.
to Santa Monica
Yeah.
to set up the same thing, but
He booked the last Friday every month at
Okay.
Harvell's, and it was like 5 bands, $5.
okay, so it was similar thing where he's setting it up different bands each time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I mean like the bands that hung around and became part of the whole scene, like obviously like we would like book their nights too. Like
Mhm.
but it was like a whole community, and like when we left, apparently it just fell apart. Like it wasn't the same. Which
You guys were the
sucks.
glue.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel like
I feel here like things are really clicky.
mm,
Like I have my like friend groups with like you guys, and
Yeah.
then like I know other groups that hang out with just
Yeah.
themselves,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah, I think it is really clicky, but it's not like drama clicky as much. It's more like there's these friends and there's these friends because they all have people in common. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's all connected some way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there is definitely I've seen a lot. I've seen and a lot of them
it's
they come and they go.
I mean like you've been here a while, like it's definitely gotten better. Like I feel
Yeah.
like it used to be a lot worse. What do you
Yeah.
think?
There's more. I don't know if it's better or worse, but there's more.
More, yeah,
it's just because there's more people, or
Yeah.
scrubbing.
let's bring everyone together.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big part of why I do this. Like, because I think a lot of like people should be more connected than they are.
I mean, I don't want to force anyone to be my friend if they don't want to be my friend. But I mean, like,
I do.
I feel
Violently
like
enforce.
one of the beautiful things about music is that it brings people together, like people that are different and have different opinions, different thoughts. At the end of the day, we're all still people and we all still feel. And like
Yeah.
music is the thing that I think we can relate to the most on like a base level, because it's our
Yeah.
feelings, it's our emotions, and we all have those.
I may or may not be throwing an event next year that
Oh yeah, stay tuned.
that similar goal. Like I want to bring bands together that would never
Yeah.
be on a bill together.
That's cool. That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think like they'll also bring their own draw, which is it's
Yeah.
not like the same crowd.
The January bill is pretty cool. It hasn't been announced yet, so if you're listening, you're the first to know. But it'll be Sheeness and Hussy Fit as like the full bands, and then Vern is doing
Oh shit,
the acoustic set.
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a
an
great
interesting
show.
lineup.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's awesome. Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's part of the art.
Yeah.
You know?
So, how much can you talk about what you got coming up in the next year? Are we just
I got an album done. The
Okay.
Reveals album's done. We got 9 songs, and we're just we're experimenting with the strategy right now and figuring out of all the people that we're talking to who we want to work with, as far as distribution goes.
yeah?
Sure. And other than that, I feel like where I'm at right now, I spent years writing a bunch of songs and creating a bunch of things and not putting anything out. And I got to a point where I understand you should keep writing, but it's like, what's the point if what this is gonna be? So I have spent the last few years really focused on what it means to like release things, and the whole art behind that and the whole business behind all of it, to the point where I'm kind of in a place where sometimes I feel like I'm not even an artist anymore, you know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting here writing emails and stuff all the time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah.
It's just, that's kind of where I'm at right now, is taking all the ideas that I've already had and trying to put them out while they're still relevant, at least.
I hate that in the modern age, you have to be an artist and a fucking
Yeah,
marketing
it's tough. Because you
asshole.
can just be really good at the marketing side of it and put less into the music,
Yeah.
and it works out.
Yeah.
Um,
It's definitely like a balancing act, but all my favorite bands just like really have a good time. And
Yeah.
that's the main reason they're
Yeah.
doing it. I think when it comes to art, like if your goal is to make money, like dude, you're in the wrong business. Like
Yeah.
no one fucking makes money in this business.
Yeah.
And it's
Few people do.
yeah, a few people, but I mean like
Taylor Swift probably makes
unfortunately
now.
it's not even about skill though, like it's just a lot of it is really luck and money. Like
Yeah.
putting
It's a
money
business.
behind shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a business. It becomes more of a business the bigger it is, I think. Like I really like when an artist that is really just doing what they really love, they get really famous,
Yeah.
like they blow up.
Yeah,
Like
just
that's
organically.
yeah, I
Yeah.
really love that. Because I mean it's like it's paying off, but that wasn't what they set out to do exactly.
Mm,
It's just a happy consequence of it.
yeah.
Good on that.
I've struggled a lot with the conflict between being an artist and being a business person,
Yeah, my dad was a bass player, like I said, and my mom was a secretary. So I feel like I'm pretty good at both, but I'm not good at balancing both.
Mhm.
I feel like they're just two separate sides of me.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. It's like playing Broadway. You've been there. She's jammed with us on Broadway. It's you're a jukebox. You're Chuck E. Cheese out there.
Yeah.
Dude. Just with your
Yeah.
It's kind of fun though.
Yeah.
And there's money in it too.
Yeah.
Like
There's
it's
more.
there's
For
opportunity
a new
there.
artist who's trying to build a career, there's more money in playing covers
For sure.
until your songs become products,
Yeah.
But the business model of Broadway is it's genius. It's really the only place in the world that's exactly like that. So that makes it special and unique. I've also heard like Austin, Texas. You ever been there?
No, I've heard
Or
Austin's
Southwest,
blowing up
Southwest?
though.
I haven't been South by.
It's literally like 6 Broadways on the same
Mm.
street. It just keeps going and going and going.
But
and
it's original bands.
It's a lot of original.
Yeah.
It's a lot of everything,
Mm.
And we have it's like Chuck E. Cheese on every stage at every bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
It's how it feels. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess
It'd be like
if
that.
you were to do it, I don't know. I guess if I were to do it, as long as you have, I would feel that way.
It's cool. I've learned so much. I've
Yeah.
gotten better. I've learned a lot about music. I've learned a lot about songs as products and like what people are familiar with and what they're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Catchy, like structures, and like I feel like all the best hit songs, you can literally be like, this is how you play the song, this chord, this chord, this chord. All right, here's the tempo, ready, go. And there it is.
It's definitely hard to do. It's a skill that you have to work a
I
long
don't even
time
want to
at.
do that.
Like
I like art, bro.
I know,
You
right?
know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. what
It's
you
like I
mean.
like music, son.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. But it's also what can I make of this?
Yeah, but
This is the box. Can I color?
Yeah, I can't help but notice that it's like that.
Well-
all these songs are so easily learnable, like in a second.
Yeah.
You guys are both real artists, so you're gonna do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna stop doing it. So
Right.
yeah, when it starts turning around and working for you, that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking with my
Yes,
dad
ma'am.
the other day because every once in a while he'll call me and be like, "So when are you gonna get a real career? How's the music thing working out for
Yeah.
you?" And my dad growing up, he would paint. And I got my love of music from him. He would show me
Mhm.
cool music and he would play music and we would play music together. And I'm like, Dad, you didn't paint because like you wanted your art in a museum. Like you painted because
Yeah.
you love painting. And you have those paintings and they're beautiful. And even if not a gajillion people are gonna see them, you see them and it makes you
Mhm.
happy. Like that's what art is to me, I guess.
Yeah. You're just doing it because
This is my creation and it'll live after me, even if
Yeah.
and I
only
get
my kids see it or whatever. Like
and I get the feeling like this goes for both of you that like you have to do this. It's not
Yeah.
like speaking personally, like art is not always fun. It's just something I've got to
Yeah.
do. Like sometimes that can be really hard, like when you write a really sad song. Like, but it's necessary. Like what the fuck else are we gonna do with life? There's nothing
Yeah.
else to do except make art and experience art and what else can you do with your life?
Make money.
Oh, that too. Oh, that too. I forgot. Shit.
Yeah.
No, that
So
yeah.
that's a thing.
That is the
all
choice.
time.
eat,
Yeah.
sleep, and
Rock.
yeah. I was gonna say something else, but rock.
Yeah.
So what kind of music did you grow up with in the house?
I don't even. Okay, so my dad was never around. He
He was busy
he
playing
was always
bass.
playing music. He was always playing gigs. So dude, I was just a kid and I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like I didn't know. So I was like, fuck music. Like literally up until I've said this on almost every podcast I've been on. I was on the bus with my best friend Indy. We were like 9 years old and he had a Walkman, a fucking CD player, and we had the Paranoid Black Sabbath album. That's my first memory, like as an adult looking back, where I remember I love music.
Mhm.
And then that year for Christmas, I got a drum set and he got a guitar. We started a band called Underage
Hell yeah.
because we were 12.
That's fucking
It
awesome.
was a metal band. Yeah.
Of course it was. That's
Yeah.
fucking lit.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah. And we really like Slipknot, so we had my buddy Corey show up with like a bunch of trash cans and a baseball bat and just like, yeah.
So what did your parents listen to
I felt like that everything. I think my dad really liked R&B.
Hmm.
I remember that in the car. You know what,
What
I
did
mean?
he
I was
play?
always-
Like, did he play in a band? Like, or did
he
he just play
played
for hire?
in a lot of country bands doing country covers. He really liked that. He said that was like what makes the most money for where he was at. You know?
So Broadway is in your blood.
Yeah, kind of. Don't say
though? Okay. What about your mom? What did she listen to?
I think like the Eagles and like Journey and shit, dude.
That's
I
good,
don't know.
dude.
Gotcha.
I mean,
That's not the worst mom
Yeah.
rock.
I think I went from Black Sabbath and then like kind of started listening to more metal maybe. And I think my dad showed me Led Zeppelin. We had this DVD like box set collection, and I saw Moby Dick for 19 minutes. The drum solo, you know what I mean? It
Mm-mm.
was like holy shit.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, and then I saw Drumline. When I saw Drumline, that's when everything changed. You know what I mean? I was like, people will still like that I do this because I wanted to quit playing drums too. Like the first year that I started, I don't know why.
Mm.
I'm 32 now. So that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. So then when did you like decide to play like string instruments?
When I was 16,
Okay.
I lived with my dad, and he just had one laying there, and I was like, "What do I do?" And I feel like he taught me the bass part. He always taught me "Money." It was the Apprentice theme song.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That
Fuck
bass
yeah.
line is a pretty cool bass line. And then he taught me the "Sweet Child of Mine," the bass intro. You know what I'm saying? One of the yes, it's one of the best bass parts ever. Epic, legendary. So good.
Nice.
Yeah, and from there I just started. I mean, it felt like I was playing drums on a guitar. You know,
Yeah.
just playing rhythm and groove. So I've always tried to approach it with the slapping and the like having a kick drum and having a snare and the hi-hats and the toms like intermixed in the notes, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what made that fun and unique, but with the guitar, it's kind of the same too, you know. I just haven't, I haven't mastered like the 6-string aspect of it. That it's really that fucking B string, dude. You know what I mean? You play guitar at all?
No,
You know what I mean?
I,
The
But
B
you the B
string?
string?
The rules of the guitar are all the same across the board, and then
Oh.
the fucking B string is just like 1 fret over. It's nonsense.
I learned how to play piano first, and on the piano, all the notes are in a straight fucking line.
Yeah,
It goes A B C D E F G A.
right.
On the guitar, it's just like everywhere, all over the place.
Okay, so
Not
it's
in a straight line.
It's the exact same thing. There's just no black keys. It's just they're all in a line, and that's it.
But there's all the different lines.
All the same notes are there, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're all in different places.
Yeah, but once you figure out that, it's
That-
all great until the B string.
Dude, when
And the B
you
string's like, nope.
have the piano, it's just like all right here.
Really, I feel the complete.
Have you ever
opposite.
played piano?
Yeah, I took a college class on. I'm not very good, but I know how it works thoroughly.
Yeah. I mean, I played piano, like
I mean, have you ever seen a piano? They're all out of line, dude. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
it's a straight line.
See, I'm
Yeah.
confused by the keys that are down here versus the keys that are up
They're
here. The
in
way that they're
between.
shaped, because every scale that you do, the chords are different. The chords are a different pattern. Whereas with guitar, every chord is really the same shape. All the shapes are the same everywhere you go, and whatever
There's shapes
key.
on the piano too, like for chords.
Yeah, but they change as you go up a half step. You know, the black keys and the white keys start shifting. You know, from pretty high.
They're in a
Me
line.
too.
They're in a line like this.
Yeah, and the guitars are just
The
straight.
guitar is like
No, it's not. It's just straight across it.
in my brain,
It's
it
like
was
if you made all
it
the
was a
keys
hard
the same
transition.
and just equalized them, and then made 6 keyboards and then set them off.
yeah, I play one
mathematically-
keyboard, but with 5 fingers. Like each of my fingers does
Yeah,
a different fucking thing.
My mom's a pretty good piano player, and she tried to teach me when I was a kid, but I just didn't really have the discipline for it. Like I played with it a lot, and she was teaching me like from like a little book she had, like sheet music. So I was learning a little bit, but then I never really stuck with it.
I started when I was 5, and then I quit. And then I did it again when I was 8, and then I quit, and then I took it up again when I was like 12, and I like stuck with it for a few good years, and I
yeah.
got pretty good after that. But I feel like when you love music, like I don't know, when I was 12, playing the piano was just like my moody outlet. I would just play like dramatic Persian music, just like 12-year-old me, so emo. Like that was
Love that.
that.
Where'd you live?
In
growing up?
LA.
Yeah. What was it like growing up in LA?
Pretty weird. I feel like LA is kind of like a fake place. Like it's like Hollywood.
Plastic.
Like when I worked on set of this TV show, it's like the house is inside the studios, but it's like fake outside,
Mhm.
like the Truman Show. Like it's
Yeah.
all a fucking movie
Yeah.
set.
That's pretty crazy. Where did you say you're from again?
Kokomo, Indiana.
Right on. Is there like a music scene in Indiana? In Indiana?
There
Okay.
is a scene. There is a scene. I feel like there's not a lot of connections from local scenes in Indiana to the bigger enterprises of music. You know what I mean? Whereas in Nashville, a lot of larger entities are stationed in headquarters in Nashville, you know, and that really helps for cities like Nashville or New York or LA or wherever it be, you know what I mean? There are definitely venues in Kokomo that are really cool and great.
I feel like I see
But there's like
Leilani go
there's
play.
like 10 of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see bands
I
go to
see bands
Indiana.
go to Kokomo, yeah.
Yeah. The Coterie. They all go through the Coterie. Kyle Gibson. Yeah.
So changing it up a little bit, get into some other stuff. What are you most afraid of? I got some new questions.
Being
I don't know
asked
if I told you guys.
asked that question on a podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah, answer wisely.
I don't like being cold. That's
Yeah.
the closest I
Dude,
got
being
to-
cold sucks,
I
dude.
don't like being cold
But
Cold-
you're
being cold
afraid
is
of being
awful.
cold?
right now. I don't
Yeah.
want to be cold.
Yeah, it's
You know,
cold outside.
That's like
I
what
feel
I've
you.
been thinking lately.
I feel you.
Shit,
I gotta just put more effort into everything, dude. I
Yeah.
gotta like layer up and shit. And It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
have.
And
I
then
have
like,
like 4 cold outfits.
Yeah.
yeah, cold's, I feel you. I'm afraid of the cold too. It's
They right.
get the fuck out of here, cold.
Yeah. Summer's where it's at.
So like when you walk outside and it's really cold, you scream with terror.
I feel like it's cutting my face off. In Indiana, it's like that. You ever been up like somewhere cold during the
I've been to
winter?
Michigan in the winter. That's pretty fucking cold.
Where it feels like it's cutting your face?
It's like 8 degrees.
wind?
It's pretty cold.
8?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've never seen like the negatives?
It gets like, it got -12 here last December. You
Didn't
remember
it?
that?
Intense.
Dude, I had a bunch of pipes burst where I work
Oh, you
because
gotta
like it
leave
got
them
really
dripping.
fucking cold. No, it's like these are 4-inch industrial pipes.
Hmm.
Like, and we had heaters on them, like to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
But the fucking power went out
Ooh.
we had a blackout, and so those heaters weren't on, and it just blew. Yeah, it was bad. And
Got
apparently that
cold just
happened to a
thinking
lot of
about it.
places in the area, so it was really hard for us to get someone out there. Like, so it went like that for a little while because this is like everyone was backed up.
You guys are scarred. This is trauma.
Yeah, I feel you. The cold's scary, dude. That's a good answer.
I don't like it. That's the best I got.
What do you think happens after we die?
To what perspective? To
To
you?
your perspective.
To yours?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the truth.
There's just so many different ways. I think with any question involved with any of that, I think there's truth behind everything to an extent, and there's so many different ways to look at it. I mean, the DMT aspect of everything, I think makes a lot of sense, and that's going to carry on. I'm also really high, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I could spend hours trying to tell you
Yeah,
what I think it is, but even after all that, it's like I still don't know.
nobody does.
I feel like the answer is I don't care.
That's a good answer. It doesn't matter.
Like, do
It really
a
doesn't
good
matter.
impression for the next life, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter then. It matters now.
yeah.
That's a good question to
shouldn't-
answer when I'm not high. though.
Okay, that. Yeah, no, I think I don't care is a great answer because it really doesn't fucking matter. You shouldn't change your life at all based on what's going to happen next. It should be.
Yeah.
You're going to hell.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
understood that.
What, hell?
Yeah, Jews don't have hell.
Really?
Yeah, well, Christians don't either. That's a Catholic thing that came and fucked everything up.
The
Because there's
Catholics
no
are pretty
mention of the
psycho.
hell in the Bible. When they talk about it, it's either metaphor, or they're talking about like Sheol, like the grave. But some Christians' Bibles convert Sheol to hell to say hell. So so then like Christians correlate the two things. Like they just think it's the same thing.
Just death. guess-
No, burning torment, because Catholics got all basically when Virgil wrote Dante's Inferno, Christianity just went like fan fiction and like everything
That was their reality.
yeah, they just went crazy.
That's scary, dude.
Yeah,
I would not want to live in that time.
and Catholics like were like burning people that just disagreed with them.
Dude, yeah, the times when women were witches, like, and
Yeah,
you would just throw them off boats. If you sink, you die, and you were not a witch. But if you don't sink, then you're a witch and you die.
I just wrote a piece that was kind of about that, where it's like their shame like witchcraft and magic, but it's like, but what about your witch? Like, what about your? That's exactly what he is. He's a magician.
Yeah.
It's it's really, is it okay magic or is it bad magic? Like, I grew up really religiously.
Yeah.
And
So did
what denomination?
Baptist.
Baptist?
Yeah.
That's a wild one.
Yeah.
That's a wild one.
We were hyped.
See, I don't know
I have
what
all-
all
it's-
the different ones believe.
It's weird because I really am heavy into as much about any religion as I can get into, to the point where I've just heard so much and I have opened up to so many different ideas that when people talk about it now, like I used to have so much to say and now it's like I just want to listen.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm so everything that you say sparks like 10 different conversations I could bring up, and I'm like, and I'm just too high to pick. You know what I mean? But
That's your excuse for every
there's
question.
the whole thing, right? And right now it is.
That sounds like almost like Buddhist, where it's just like I accept all of these things. Like I think
Yeah.
everyone's saying the same shit.
Yeah,
Like if you study one religion, you've
Close
studied
to it.
all of them.
Kind of.
Because like the problem I have with Christianity is they don't know what they believe. Like they
Yeah.
don't know what their book says. It's like I'm not a Christian, but I know so much more about this. And it's
Right.
like you call yourself that and you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, like those books to me, like they are historical books, even if some of the stuff in them is not fucking true. Like somebody 3,000 years ago wrote that shit down. They wrote shit down for a reason, and we can like
I think it's good.
figure out try to decide what the reason was, or
Well, there
get
were-
something for ourselves out of it, or something like
There's
that. But
66 books that were all written at different times by different people for different purposes. And eventually the Council of Nicaea in the 1600s sat down and was like, these are the sacred texts, do away with everything else.
Yeah.
And they made a decision and said, this is what the truth is. And then they went out with thousands of swords and just said, this is what the truth is, or else. And currently in the world, this is what the truth is. You
was
know
that
what
the
I mean?
Romans?
They're like the Michael Jordan of the shit. I mean, I'm looking at it from like a Game of Thrones perspective,
Mhm.
where
That was the Roman
and it's like,
Empire?
you know
Yeah,
what, I
that was
think
Roman
Yeah.
Catholic.
it's pretty genius how that worked. Whether or not you want to be a part of it is a whole different controversy, but I think looking at it like that and seeing it as like rulers and kings and
Well, that's
politicians,
history.
and
Like,
that's what it is.
yeah,
And they did it.
They
And
did.
They sure
they're
did.
doing it, and it's a lot.
they're doing it now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It works because they took something that is really good and then like put that at the front of it
Yeah.
instead of like, so like people like, oh no, but if you attack what they're doing, you're attacking the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're not the same shit.
It's just unfortunate because it feels like they're pimping it out. And
Yeah.
they're chasing
I
clout.
like to look at specifically the religions of those people's times, like the people that wrote this literature. I want to know what was going through their brain
Oh,
and the
I know a little
religions
bit
that they
about
were
that.
studying. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
So like my friend Danny Burgess, he has a podcast called The Way Back, and he studies Hebrew, and like he's telling me shit all the time. Jasmin's heard me talk about this before, but there's a thing called chiastic literature, a chiasm, and basically ancient Israelites had a specific way of telling a story. And if you did exactly like followed all these steps, you could trap a spirit inside of a story. And it's a golem, like the same way you can make like a stone golem.
Yeah.
They just put God inside of a text. And what's really interesting about that is the word Torah just means binding, to bind something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a spell, and basically they this could be done. What's really crazy is this could be done word of mouth. Like these things were done word of mouth before they were written down. So they could do this to a narrative itself. Like it's not actually bound to anything physical. But anyway, there's not only that, but then there's things like tarot cards, which follow the exact same formula.
Yeah.
So when you're using that, there's a thing called bibliomancy, where it's like if you open a Bible and the first page you see, like we've all heard a story about like I was down on my luck and then I just opened a Bible and the very first thing I saw changed my whole life.
Right.
That's the same thing with tarot cards. Like you're flipping through and you pull one and it's like, oh, this means something.
Yeah. I think the nature of the placebo effect existing in itself is a whole world to like the fact that that's how the brain works, period, that you're changing the way that everything works based on what you thought was true. I just think that there's so much to dive into in that regard that makes all of religion into, for me, it's different upgrades and apps that you can download for your brain. And it's like each religion has its own strengths and like ways of living that you are downloading to, like the more that you practice that religion, it is going to go into your brain and change the way that you're processing information and the way that you communicate. It's going to change your daily decisions. You know what I mean? If you follow it. probably.
You're absolutely right.
And they all have a different thing that like you can upgrade to your avatar or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? And that might be a weird way of looking at it, but
No,
it's like
it
I
makes
just think for the
sense.
psychology of a person, that's what it ends up becoming, you know.
Dude, I've never heard that analogy before, but it makes a lot of sense. Like
Pretty
that's what it
much.
is. And they can like you can get downgraded that way too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And well, that's the thing is I said it got pimped out, and I think at a certain point, the process of it was written by people who that was their intention, was to give you this connection to God or whatever. And then it did well enough, people liked it enough that for whatever reason, the kings, the politicians, all of these different groups of leaders just decided like we're gonna use this to conquer the world. And that's what they did. And now there's this big dispute of, the people that know still know, you know what I mean? But there's a whole new religion based on this new process and this dogmatic way of thinking to follow this book and what's in the story. But the primary element is what is in the book, like the characters and everything, and what's happening and what you're getting out of it. That all came from reality. They were
Yeah.
writing reality down,
Yeah.
and people have this secondary way of looking at it where they're just copying off of what they see in a book, and it's like, no, that's not necessarily what it is. God and all these other things, they exist as something that people have written about.
Yeah.
Very high way to put it.
For the Jewish religion, like it was the way of life. Like that was
Yeah.
just like how you live your life, like
Right.
how you treat your wife, how you get married, how you
Yeah.
conduct your business. Like, so it's not like inconceivable that someone would co-op. It was like a government basically. Like it was
Yeah.
like these are the rules for how you have a
How to be
society,
a human.
how you have a family, how you
Yeah.
have a community.
Well, this is what life is.
It
Mhm.
was a government. Like it's
Yeah.
one.
It was a way of
um,
life. It was how
yeah.
you live your life. And so yeah, obviously somebody is gonna look at that and be like, oh, I can get these people to do whatever the fuck I want them to
Yeah.
do. Like
Well, it's
power
actually
corrupts.
it's really brilliant too when you
inherently.
think about like for some reason people have to have like a hierarchy. Like there has to be
Yeah.
someone above them.
People need parents to teach them how
Yeah.
to live. People need government daddy apparently to enforce laws because we're dumb as shit.
Well, we're
and fucking
gonna
do
put
bad things
something
to
there.
each other.
We're gonna put someone there. We're gonna put a king there. We're gonna put a president there. The Jews just figured out, well, we can put God there, and now we
Right.
don't have to worship
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Mm,
And that's really brilliant. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am
That's
really
cool.
a fan of the principle of not showing God or depicting God or saying this thing is God in any way. You know what I mean? Like, don't put an image on it, don't put a face on it, don't put a name on it. Like, it's outside of our human brain and it's outside of this realm.
I think it's everything. I
And
think
we're
it
trying
is
to
this
degrade
realm
it.
and
You know what
outside
I
of it.
mean?
I try to get as much as I can out of it, but you're absolutely right. What we're trying to wrap our heads around is we'll never be able to do.
Right.
No,
And when you leave your head like DMT or something, you
Yeah. Right.
but you can't bring it back.
we are
Yeah.
I think we're part of God. We are everything is God. God is the universe. God is every like particle. Like we're made of those particles. We're made in God's image or whatever.
Not only
Even though
yeah.
like we probably can't contain one God within inside of us, but we all together like are part of it.
Not only do I completely agree with you, but that's what every religion says. That's what Judaism is like. God is YHVH, earth, water, air, fire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's reality.
Yeah.
He's everything. And it's like Yah
And
is an
there's so
inhale,
much beyond
Yah is an
us, like-
exhale. Like he's birth and death.
There's so much that
It's
we
like-
don't fucking know and probably never will because it's just beyond us. Like we're so small in
Yeah.
the universe. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fucking astronaut because I loved space. Like I love the concept of just like, whoa,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Mhm.
out there? Like that shit, whoa, that's
You said
weird.
you saw that American God show. I really like the way that they're depicting and persona, like they're giving technology a character. Like he's like the god of technology or
Oh,
whatever,
that's
you know what I
scary.
mean? But
Yeah.
they're showing you like his plans and like they're depicting it as if he's this like secret evil genius who's got
It's
this
scary
plan
though,
for
because like
humanity.
we made technology. So
Yeah.
like are we then
Well, that's kind of
Well,
what
we made our
underneath-
gods too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a whole thing.
It's
in all of it,
freaky.
but
I hate that shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
2001
no.
It's a
Space
cool,
Odyssey.
it's like a cool way of looking at it,
Well,
you know what I mean?
And it's a great allegory because it's true. Like that's what we're doing. We've
Right.
replaced the gods of our ancestors
Yeah.
with
Oh.
technology.
I want
Yeah,
to go back to the spells, the Torah being
Yeah.
binding spells. So I sent you that video, and I forget exactly what it was, but like the Hebrew word for idea and thing are like the same.
Yeah.
Hebrew word for word and thing are the same thing.
Yeah.
Something like what you speak comes into existence, basically. The
Mhm.
language, we
Totally.
have invented these words to explain
right.
reality.
Everything was a
Um,
spell. And now we have a podcast. We're just
Dude,
spelling it up,
dude.
dude. Spelling it all over the place.
Hey,
for
It's
everybody.
you know, it's kind of true though. Like
Yeah.
it's a joke, but it's true. Like that's music too, man. Like
Yeah.
that's you just do it like Jimi Hendrix. Like it's this fucking he has entranced a crowd.
Yeah.
Like thousands of people. And man, yeah. And what's also fucking magic is we can still hear him. Like we can
Yeah.
go listen to
Hmm.
Jimmy.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately with being a musician and the idea that your audience is sitting here watching like a theater performance in some aspect. And I look to people like someone like Dave Chappelle or any other comedian who's like one fucking dude for an hour,
Yeah.
just talking. And there's a whole audience of people that are like, this is
They're
the show.
captivated.
And we're musicians and we're supposed to basically do that. Or you could even look at it on like a more theatrical thing, like putting on a play or whatever, you know, or a movie. Like people want to watch fucking Lord of the Rings for 3 hours straight. You
I
know what I
don't.
mean?
I genuinely
it's
don't.
Right.
People
Yeah.
people want to do that.
Yeah.
Not me, but I
Trolls.
understand your point.
And Gandalf.
They're gnomes. The people that want to do that, they're not
Are
people,
you
they're
not
gnomes.
entertained?
I like Lord of the Rings.
Dude, I like it.
Oh man.
I've fallen
What
asleep every
Lord of the
time.
Rings? What Lord of the Rings character would you be? Dude, what do you identify as?
Gandalf the gay. That'd be Gandalf.
Yeah. What
uh,
Lord of the Rings character?
I don't know.
should be a fucking hobbit. Like
I don't know. Every time I try to watch it, I've fallen asleep.
That's the first time I ever saw it. I was a kid when I fell asleep.
I've tried to watch it like 2 or 3 times
I
now.
didn't get it. I didn't know the way. You know, I've changed.
No, I've seen the light.
Josh keeps trying to get me to
Lord.
watch it.
This dude created a whole fucking world and then gave you different stories from this universe that he made. He probably spent his entire fucking life on. And every different piece of art he was making all existed in the same like reality, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
like Marvel or DC.
Do you have any ghost stories? And when I say ghost story, I mean like, is anything weird ever happened to you can't explain? Like, obviously, like you can include drugs in that too. Like, because most of the weird shit I've seen was definitely on drugs, but like, I don't know, something you don't just chop up to drugs.
Man. Yes, but I don't know what to talk about. Like I don't know which one of those things is like, yeah, you should definitely tell everyone on the internet. Tell everyone on the internet about that thing.
Yeah, it's
Man.
fine. It's just the three of us and Alice.
I've definitely seen a lot of weird synchronicities to the point where I know that there's something going on. Like life isn't just a bunch of shit happening. There's something else going on, and there's something happening on the outside, and my brain was not built with the capacity to see exactly what that is. I got like 5 senses. I can taste and I can see and I can hear, and light and sound are everything to us that we know of. You know what I mean? But there's definitely something on the outside, and there have been moments where I've realized that in different capacities, whether or not I was sober or elsewhere. But I don't know. That's a lot.
Anything happened to you as a kid like that?
I used to see weird shit when I was a kid. I remember this one time I woke up and there were just 3 dogs just at the foot of my bed. I was like 5, dude, when I freaked out, and then I like lay back down and I looked again and they were gone. And then there was another day where this like bird, just like a big fucking bird with a witch hat on, was slowly walking into my room. And I told my dad, and he said he killed it and put it in the trash can and took it out back.
Oh.
I was like, all right,
Hey,
Dad.
that was cool.
yeah,
That
Took
was
care of
good.
it for you.
It's dead now.
yeah.
It's never coming back.
Shit.
I would see like, I would look out and all the bookshelves and all the shadows and everything would kind of start melting into different faces and, you know, just like the imagination, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That one sounds like drugs for sure.
No, I was 5.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see faces in like wood, like in
Yeah.
the trees.
Yeah. They ever talk to you?
No.
Jimi Hendrix told me to come into his poster one time.
Shit.
Actually, pretty much every time I ever look at the poster now. So.
Come on.
Wait,
You know what I
really?
mean? Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was a I was with somebody else and I had to take care of them because their tripping wasn't too fun.
Yeah.
And I look over and Jimmy's got this like this thing happening like Adam and God in the
We want
Michelangelo
you.
painting. And I just see it and I'm like, oh. And so I come up and she's freaking out, dude. She's tripping, but I'm just like listening to Jimmy. You know what I mean? And he's just like, if you come in here, you could be here forever. And I was
No.
like, and he was like, just surrender. And I
Oh,
really should have.
no.
I really should have. And I didn't. I had to stay on Earth, dude. And I
Dude,
but he knows. He knows what happened.
Jimmy is your Pennywise.
I wonder what would happen.
That's
If I
kind of
would've
freaky.
lived,
You
I mean, I think
probably would have been fine. You probably would have gotten out of it.
I felt something similar before on DMT where like I felt like something was trying to keep me.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean. Like I think you can enter these realms, and there's actually it's a Tibetan thing actually. It's very similar to that, where you sit and you look at these two trees, and then I mean obviously drugs would help,
Yeah.
and you create a door between them,
Yeah.
and you get up, your soul gets up and walks through it, but you can get lost there. Like you can get stuck.
I get it.
It's like a meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's a Nordic thing that's similar. My buddy Dingo Reed, he told a story on here about he was doing it was a Nordic ritual, and like he was just in Lotus for so long that he like had to go to the hospital
Mm.
because like he was dying.
His blood gets stuck.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think I can't remember. I'd have to look back. But
Weird.
yeah, I think there's something to that. I'm glad you're here, not with Jimmy, man. Jimmy, you son of a bitch, give him back.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jimmy.
What do you think about do you think aliens have ever been here?
Dude, yes, in every way.
Yeah. You think they're here now?
Like, I think regular aliens that we think about, like stereotypically, probably exist. I think maybe we're the aliens. I think God is aliens. I think aliens are God. I think maybe they're living with us, among us, maybe. Like all the different theories, I'm like, yep. Yeah. Like I've had little things where it's like it's possible.
I feel the same
Or
way.
not. It's like you could talk yourself into or out of any weird theory, but to try and act like you know the full capacity of what life could be is stupid. That's dumb,
Yeah.
dude.
We are
Like,
totally aliens.
Regardless of how good the arguments would be against it, it's just like, but you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much more out there.
I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. I would take it as far as say, like, we really don't know anything at all. Like,
Yeah.
the way we try to think about knowledge, it's like when people say no, what they really mean is like an educated assumption. It's like, I know the sun is gonna rise tomorrow.
I like
But
You
I
don't
don't
know
know that.
anything. You don't know shit.
You know about the
Yeah.
Sumerians? I feel
Oh,
like that's
fuck
just a
yeah,
thing.
dude.
Yeah.
Like the Anunnaki.
Yeah, like all that stuff. It's like, okay, I had to read about that in college. So, because I feel like that topic is kind of looked at as like stoner science, but they made us read it in biblical interpretations class at Ball
Wow.
State. It was like it was what was Division One? It was a Division One football school, so it was like legit. Everything was legit, and we had to read the first week, the book of Genesis with Enuma Elish is what they called it.
That's crazy.
And that the whole point was all the similarities between them. Basically, they were teaching us that the Bible was essentially just a rewritten version of this text that we had written from the Sumerians like 600 years before all that shit went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy because a lot of the ancient societies have so many similar things, like all around the fucking world. They
Yeah, they
all
all
have a
do.
flood story.
I think they
have,
all found
like,
the same thing.
something coming from above and
Yeah.
like giving them something.
There's a lot of, I think a lot of people know that, like, now that we have fucking the internet and we have every library in the world like in our hands, I think most people are familiar with like Jesus and Buddha having a lot of the same things, and a lot of people are, well, maybe Jesus was influenced by Buddha. I also think that they both went on a journey and found the fucking thing, and they both are seeing and speaking from this same point, you know what I mean? And it doesn't even matter if they ever hurt each other. Like, I think that thing that they both represent is a real thing that does exist in our reality, and a lot of people have kind of captured it or channeled it or presented it or whatever. But I do think things like that are all possible. I think you can also, on the opposite end of the spectrum, go too far. Be a little
Oh yeah, I'm completely gone. I'm crazy.
yeah,
I've lost my fucking mind.
right. I
I
think
think everything is like, sometimes I'm like, maybe things aren't as crazy as I think they are.
right.
And then I'm like, nope, they're
No,
way
bitch.
crazier than I know. They're
Yeah.
way fucking crazier than
Yeah,
I know they are.
dude.
I think a lot of it is magnets and orbit and just
Oh.
different vibrations, all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's all this big magnetic field. This is such a high conversation for me.
Oh,
right
dude,
now.
we're so stoned.
But
This is well, it's good to be stoned for this conversation. This is what we
Yeah.
just talk about. So
no, I mean I have these conversations all the time. It's just really tough right now. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's all simulation anyway.
Yeah.
We're all just
Right.
in a game.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Sims.
It's different notes and different sounds and different ways of presenting ourselves. And there's just different ways that you can, I guess, vibrate. And the way that the combination of vibrations that you're putting together for yourself is what brings all the different magnets around you into your perspective, when in reality billions of people exist, but these are the people that you're around because this was what you were giving off, the radio signal that you were open to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it even goes deeper, is like when there's a song in your head, like I think that it's possible that we're receiving those signals that are in the air, you know what I
I
mean?
feel like my brain
And
is
we're
a
hearing
radio
it.
like all the time.
Is that what you
And
guys?
a lot of times, like I'll be listening to the radio and I'll be thinking of a song and then it'll come on the radio like 2
Yeah.
seconds after. Like that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, you guys think that's where art comes from? Like we're just pulling it from somewhere?
Sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
like really
Heard all about
stoned,
that.
it feels like God is speaking through me.
Yeah.
You're just channeling. Yeah.
Just like I'll be writing and it'll
Mhm.
just be like, I'm
Yeah,
not
I've done that
writing.
a
It's
lot.
not me. Like
Yeah,
That's
that's definitely happened to me a couple times, to a point where I had to like stop and be like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, what was that? You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
so you just letting go. Like
Yeah. But I feel like that's what like freestyle rapping.
I was just
That's what
Or it's like speaking in tongues.
There's a lot of
Like,
singing
yeah.
and ways to play music. I think that's really what it is when you're crossing over and you're really hitting them with that thing, you know what I mean? That's what you're doing, is you're letting go and you're surrendering to the wave of sound
Yeah.
that you're making, and you're letting it take over and feed out, in the groove. It's just infecting everyone around you. I think is the whole point, you know what I mean?
maybe that's
It's
what
just
Jimmy is.
this up down vibing thing, you know, and you make the toes tap and the heads bob or whatever, you know.
I think this is the same thing that athletes tap into.
Yeah.
Like they get in the zone and they're just
Mhm.
like, they're not
Auto
thinking.
zone.
They're just
Yeah.
auto zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to auto zone.
Get in the zone. Auto zone.
I want like a meme now of auto zone, but it's just like
Get in the zone.
it's just Zen. Yeah, he's in.
Auto zone.
I don't exist.
Do you ever get like songs in your dreams?
Yeah.
You're like waking in the
That's
morning and
happened
you
to
have a
me
song in your
before.
head.
It's hard to remember when you wake up.
You have to like immediately like while you're on the toilet, just
Yeah.
like sing it.
Do you ever write dreams down?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some that you have to, because it's like, I wonder, I feel like writing them down and looking at them makes you completely realize like why you had those
Oh, yeah.
thoughts
I
while
have,
you were
like,
out.
8 years of journals,
Yeah,
just like from when I became conscious and decided to start writing everything
yeah.
down. I was like reading a lot of them. And I
See-
forgot some of the shit that I used to do.
Honestly, I don't dream when I go to bed after I like smoke weed. It's sad.
Yeah,
I
me
still
too.
dream.
It
I'm the
clogs
same
my
way.
dreams up. Makes me wanna, I
Yeah.
don't know, I
I
always say I'm
still
gonna quit.
It's like,
Stupid.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm the same way though. Like if I haven't smoked weed in a while, I'm like, oh shit, I'm dreaming. Like I'm
Yeah.
like
Dude,
vividly
I
dreaming.
have
I always
superpowers in my
dream.
dreams, dude.
Wait, so do you lucid dream? Like, do you know you're
Yeah,
awake?
that too.
How long can you can stay in there?
I mean, I can like literally like fly and do shit like in my dreams, and sometimes those are lucid. But when they're lucid, and I don't have any control over that. You know?
See, when they're lucid for me, they start to break down. Like I start to wake up because
Yeah,
I'm like, oh
yeah. So yeah, that happens sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah,
You just gotta go back to sleep.
I can't like I never end up back there, you know?
because dude, I get stupid, and every time I lucid dream, I tell everybody in the dream that they're just in a dream. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my
Damn.
once
god.
I realize, I'm like, you're never gonna guess
Wait,
what I
that's
just
funny.
realized. You know? And
What
then
do they
everybody gets
say?
annoyed. They're like,
They're like,
No,
nah.
no.
No.
like, dude, you don't get it.
That's
And then they all died
hilarious,
when you woke
dude.
up. Now they just don't exist
just-
anymore.
Inception, but you go in there and you tell everyone that it's just a dream.
Just to watch them get depressed. It's like, oh god, my life is
Man.
meaningless.
Do you ever have a dream within a dream? Like, do you ever wake up in your dream and you're still dreaming?
Yeah. One time,
That shit's freaky.
look, one time I passed out while Josh was taking the shower, and I was in his room, and I woke up. I walked around. It's such a long story, so I'll fucking cut it. But I woke up, looked around, realized I was in a dream, and then I woke up again,
Mm-hmm.
and then I looked around, and more shit happened, and then I realized that was a dream,
Mm.
and then I woke up again, and looked around.
We get some water, do you need some more?
I got mine,
Sorry, go ahead, I'm listening.
and that was a fucking dream.
Yeah.
And dude, it literally happened 5 times. Like I just kept waking up from the same fucking dream.
Do you ever just like live your entire day? Like you live Saturday and then you wake up and it's Saturday? Like I gotta do all this shit again. Like
Yeah.
Saturday just happened. I just oh shit, that was all a fucking dream. Here we
Dude,
go.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
I don't think I've had that one.
But once I
I
finally
live like my next day. 'Cause
I-
I'm like thinking about my day the night before, you know?
I eventually woke up and Josh walked into the room and I was like, I don't know.
Are you real
But yeah,
or is it still a dream?
yeah. We
Did you
that,
ask him?
that painting? Yeah, I
That
did.
is my dear friend Dakota Jernigan. He recently moved away, he moved to Washington, but he does bad portraits by Dakota Jernigan. I'll put a link up or something. He was moving away and he was selling a bunch of his art, and I was like, dude, I have to have that
The
piece.
wizard, dude.
Yeah, that's Merlin.
I love this painting. It's my favorite one he's done, actually.
It reminds me of Adventure Time.
King Arthur in a t-shirt.
Yeah, this is like Adventure Time. Like, so I know this kid's running, right? But
Mhm.
like every time I look at it, I kind of almost feel like he's drawing this. Like he's got like a pencil in his hand.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
hands are difficult to draw, honestly.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I'm like, why is King Arthur in a t-shirt?
Yeah.
He just run like a band tee.
I'm gonna put this in front of the screen so they're not like, God damn it, what are you guys talking about? Fuck.
He's trying to get the sword before the wizard does.
You son of a bitch.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
what I see.
You can't have magic and a sword.
I think the wizard's presenting to him the sword.
Either he's running, you know, he's hurried.
Oh, that's where I've been wondering where the camera's at.
Yeah, it's right here.
He's in a rush, you know.
Whoa.
Like he gotta go get that sword real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he is drawing. That's a good one. I'm on that side.
I love the sparkly ocean in the back.
Yeah, this dude's fantastic. He comes back through Nashville sometimes. I'll let you guys know when he does. He'll usually do like a vendor shop. You guys should he does bad portraits. So
Oh, sick.
you just sit there and he draws a shitty portrait of you. It's fucking awesome.
I would love to see myself as ugly.
Just to know what it's like.
It'd be great for my self-esteem.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
Oh man, I think it's a canvas. I think it's a blank white canvas, and whatever starts happening on the canvas is based off of your thoughts and actions and words, and you're making it. But at the same time, there's rules to the way that it works, where there's pushback, and the mechanism itself also has control and rules and like a mathematical sequence that anything can happen, but anything can happen within these laws of physics.
You can't define
You know what I
gravity.
mean?
Yeah.
Right. But that's the canvas, and it's like whatever you fucking, I don't know, dude, whatever you
Do you
think,
think that like
that's what it is for you.
every choice that you make like is a different like world, basically? Because like you live through life, you have choices,
Yeah,
you
I
decide
do. I just
where your
don't.
life goes.
I don't think it like I'm not there, and that's a cool thought. Like maybe, probably, I would love to see. I would love to like buy a ticket and just go check that fucking out. Like, what if I would have not did that? You know what I mean?
That's
To
me.
go-
I'm just like, what should I do? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
This is like whenever I hear this, like one thing about I guess that conversation that I just don't understand is like what is here is what is real in the context of English. So when you say, do you think there are other realities where you made different decisions? It wouldn't, even if there is, it wouldn't be real because it's not here.
It's possible.
Okay. So like, do you think they like actually run like parallel to each other? Is that
I don't know, like if I throw this across the room, how much is it gonna change my world?
Right.
yeah.
Regard to if I don't, like some things don't really
You never
matter. Some things don't, we think, right?
Yeah.
Some things have smaller effects than others.
So I think I guess where I'm going with that is I think in a hypothetical sense they exist because we
Yeah.
can think about it, right?
Yes,
So
we can imagine them.
so that might actually exist somewhere.
It exists in our imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes back to the canvas. It's like whatever exists in your imagination starts making sense of everything that's going around you, and for you and your perspective, that's what life is. But every single person also has that. So I think everybody's just completely different,
Yeah.
but within the same mechanical realm, we're all humans. We all need the same things. We're all essentially doing kind of the same thing. It's just dressed differently. We have different functions, you know what I mean? But we're all functioning on the same code, you know. And I think people exploring the common codes between them is what religion often comes out to be. It's like, this is what is good for a human. That's what most religions are trying to do, is be like, this is the thing that worked for me, and it's supposed to work for you too, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And start like forcing it on other people is like it's like maybe they can just figure it out themselves.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't need your shit.
We have to save them.
Yeah.
I like the idea of teaching.
Yeah.
A philosophy. They're all philosophy teachers in one way or another, and they're putting different brands on it to where you can grasp it easier. They're trying to communicate to you the truth in a way that you can understand and apply, that's going to make you the best version of yourself. But they have to stay alive, and they have to pay for the rent of the church.
Yeah.
And you know, there's all sorts of shit to it. So it's like, because it's human, it gets diluted and turned into a business format when that's not really what it was all about.
Yeah.
Is capitalism a religion?
Yeah. Government is a religion. Like
What
every
else-
government is a religion.
What could work outside of capital? Like, I don't really get.
It's the best
I
thing we've
feel
ever
like
come up
it's the
with.
best
I just
thing we
think
got.
capitalism is like what it.
It gets a
You're
bad
trying to
rap.
get some shit,
Yeah.
and somebody has some other shit that you need. It's like,
Like a free
what else are
market.
you gonna do?
Adam Smith sort of took a people are sinners mindset and was like, you guys are fucking greedy as shit.
Right.
And so we're gonna set up these rules to try and like make it somewhat fair. Like money is that one thing that's different than everything else, the equalizer, like everything
Yeah.
can be reduced to a monetary
Mhm.
value.
That's definitely a god. Like just based on the way you described it, I'm like, that sounds like a god. But it's still the best thing we've ever come up with.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah, because
nothing.
people are fucking greedy.
Yeah. Like
And of course, they're gonna try to mess with the system and say that it's still the same. And
the problem with capitalism is the same problem with communism. They're greedy people and you can't trust each other.
yeah,
Like that's
Right.
the same problem, except it's way worse with communism because now it's one motherfucker you have to trust to do everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Or like, at least a presiding force.
you
Yeah.
can't have a democracy because people are fucking dumb.
Yeah. They try to convince us we have a democracy here.
We
But-
we have a constitutional republic. We don't have a true democracy.
Okay, sorry, that we have like democratic elections. But yeah,
Oh,
you're right, we're
yeah.
a republic. But like I don't even believe in that. Like I think every election in my lifetime has been rigged. We don't
It's a
have a choice
crazy
in anything.
theory to
Yeah.
think about.
There's not like they're like, can we convince these motherfuckers again that
Right.
they can make a
I
decision?
mean, I think if you can sway the people, you're gonna get something. But there's like I felt like Bernie Sanders was somebody that he was like a huge celebrity figure that everybody was all about it. Like he was a movement, and you'd think that that would be enough. Like it genuinely looked like everyone was just into that idea, and they're like, let's fucking do this.
They totally
And he didn't. I
sabotaged
feel like he
him.
didn't even make it to the last round. You know.
They sabotaged
Of the
dude.
game.
The Democrats fucking fucked him over.
Yeah.
And like he was never a lifelong Democrat. Like he was an independent for most of his career, which is what's cool about him because he's like, fuck you.
I think that
You
they
know,
know.
but then when he was running as a Democrat, he had to play by their fucking rules. And they're trying to do that. They tried to do that shit to Robert F. Kennedy. They changed the rules so that he couldn't
Yep.
Yeah.
fucking run, basically. So now he's running as an independent because fuck these two parties.
I think
Yeah.
democracy exists in a community, in a small community,
Yeah.
or a medium
It's
community,
very
but
difficult
on
for
a
a lot of
large
people.
community or community, I think it's an illusion.
America's a big fucking country.
I think people are making the decisions and then handing it over to just see what the people want to say, but it's like they already know.
In the last couple of years, I've gone from like libertarian, like small government, like just reduce it as much as can,
Yeah.
to now I'm just an anarchist. I'm like, we
Yeah.
don't fucking need it. Like we
Yeah.
don't need it. Like we don't like, for example,
I think
we
we
don't
need
need police. And we really
I don't
fucking
know.
don't. No,
I think
I'll
we
explain.
do.
When has the police ever done something at all?
I mean, they have done many things.
Like what?
They have helped lots of people. Like when the fucking crazy motherfucker went to Covenant and shot up a bunch of kids, the police went in and took that motherfucker
Right.
out and stopped them from killing more kids.
I guess.
Did you watch the body cam footage from that shit?
They taking out the shooter? Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
argument. I think.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
mean,
something people
somebody
could
has to
easily
fucking
do,
do
though,
that.
right?
no, somebody has to do it, and the police are
No.
the people who
Yeah,
in our
so,
society
but-
do it.
but-
But if we were all strapped, we wouldn't need that.
I see your.
We wouldn't need him to do that.
Well, I mean,
But
that,
those
No,
were
you make a
kids.
good point.
that's
though.
how it is in
If-
Israel.
If not
Everyone's
everyone's
fucking
gonna carry a
strapped.
gun, maybe we do need a police force. I'll.
Yeah,
But everyone, I guess what I'm saying is,
You
you're
want
right.
to
That is
force
something great that
everyone
they do.
to
You're
learn
right.
how to use a
I
gun,
think we need
basically.
police. I think the police don't need a quota of any form, and they need to stop being so bored. Because a lot of crime
Yeah.
is made out of bored police.
And
It
yeah.
wasn't, there was nothing wrong with it. The cops showing up and arresting them and throwing them in jail is a much bigger problem than whatever the crime we're labeling was, you know what I mean?
There have definitely been bad cops, like over in the East Coast, all the fucking cops are in
Yeah.
with the mob, right? Like that definitely has happened because again, like power is going to be abused
Right.
I think
whenever you create a position of power.
like detective work is really important, like because they're figuring out what happened, right? But I'm not really aware of police ever showing up on time to do something. Like again, we could
You
all
don't
just carry a
think
fucking gun.
They
No,
showed
they
up on
don't.
time for
Dude, I got so many stories.
Covenant.
Fuck the
I'm
police.
just saying, dude, I feel like I spent my whole life raging against the machine so much that I became a machine. It's
Oh,
sad.
fuck,
It's a sad
dude.
reality. I just like kept asking so many questions all the time. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? This is fucked. I don't like this. Why is it like this? That is like I finally figured out why it's like that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh,
But like,
Damn.
It's like
we
that
had
for a reason.
we had
Yeah.
citizens arrest in this country, and like
I
the
don't want
police-
any citizen to
I
fucking
think
arrest me.
Well, I mean, it would be that's like okay, it's not like it's a society like a local society thing. So it's like
local police.
if you see three people, like are all agreeing, yeah, this person is being a nuisance. It's like that's not a perfect system, right? Because it's
No,
just
but
three
what
random
if not? What
motherfuckers
if those 3 people are little girls like me and they can't arrest?
in a public area. There's going to be 12 other people that are just
Not
going to kill those
always.
motherfuckers for
Not always.
doing that.
I think that
But
discretion.
police aren't going to fix that either. Police are going to show up after it happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So it's-
discretion is important because there's just so many times where they can investigate and see what's wrong. And realize like me taking this person to jail and taking their money and like fucking their life up is probably a lot worse than this situation that is written down on a piece of paper that they're not allowed to be doing. But that's not to say that the entire job's foundation of like, we do need somebody with protection who is willing to like go to this small community war to ease a trouble and provide a solution. But we don't need that all the time. But
I
Maybe
think
like an
some
National
of it is
Guard or
also
something.
like the laws that are written, and like the police don't
Like,
write the
dude,
fucking laws.
if you go to Franklin,
like
they
the
don't-
drug laws.
everything in Franklin is so nice that the cops are fucking bored all the time. So it's like they're all about giving you tickets
Mm.
because it's like they're on the job, they're on the clock, they gotta do some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just fucking pull everybody over and take everybody to jail for nothing because what the fuck else are they gonna do? It's
Yeah.
Franklin.
And it makes
Nothing
a lot of
bad's
money.
happening.
It makes them a lot of
Right.
fucking money.
So I just think that that in itself is the root of the issue, but the actual like there was a reason a long time ago that every civilization has agreed you need guards. You need
Well,
I
we
mean
need-
you
we
need
need guards from the
security at a
outside.
show. You need
I-
security at a show, you need fucking
Not
you
really
need
if
a
everyone's
certain
strapped.
point.
Like, and you can hire security. If you're a venue, you can hire private security.
Yeah.
But like cops, like for the government, like
I don't want everyone
why
to
does
be
the government
strapped
need
though.
security?
Like
Everybody
I don't
being
want crazy
strapped
people
is-
to be strapped. No
it's-
offense.
Well,
like,
for every crazy person in there's gonna be 10 not crazy people that are just
no,
gonna
I'm
take
just
care of
saying
that.
like
But I don't know.
you can't just
I don't
give
know.
everyone a fucking gun. Like
No, well, you have to vet people.
Yeah.
There has to be definitely like not everyone is allowed to have a gun, and we need to be actually like pretty strict on
like
that.
the crazy
right?
person who shot up Covenant shouldn't have
But
had
if everyone
a gun.
that
They
was
shouldn't
of
have
right
let
mind did that,
that
there'd be less
person buy a gun.
accidents. Like there's a story about this guy who robs a gun store in Texas and gets shot with like 5 different types of ammo before he
Jeez.
hits the floor. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that we don't need cops. Like
Right.
that
Yeah.
shit.
I think
That's
that
the
there's
Wild
just
West.
certain people that are helpless. I think that if they're pertaining to theft or robbery or murder or rape or extreme cases, it's like yes, these are heroes and these are people that it's like damn, like would I step up if I had to do some shit like that with a gun and like go into a house and fucking go head to head with some crazy motherfucker? You
It's
know what
scary.
I mean? That's a cool thing that we have people like that. It's just the way once again that it got pimped out and turned into a fucking thing, diluted it and made it stupid. And I don't know, I feel like ever since 2020, cops have been way cooler. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody got all pissed and they sort of backed off, but
The coolest
that's
thing
just
I've
for
ever
my
seen
life.
a cop do is not give me a ticket, which is like that is
Yeah.
cool of you, but like that's the least you could fucking do is
Yeah.
not charge me money. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I mean, if you're breaking the law.
it's definitely
Here's the thing. Like
bogus.
every one of my friends is like we've disregarded some laws. Like we all do drugs. I mean,
Yeah.
allegedly, right?
I think
But,
drugs
like,
should not be an
Well, that's an
a
example of
jailable
like,
offense. Like if somebody is a drug addict, maybe they
Yeah.
need to go to rehab instead of jail, you know?
and we have a
Should be
system for
crime.
this. We just don't give a fuck about it.
Right.
Yeah.
We could do that with everything, anything we disagree with. And in fact, we should do that with everything we disagree with. Like obviously, murder bad, theft bad,
Yeah,
but anything that we don't like, we could just all stop paying taxes if we
Right.
all did it. Like fuck you, we're not paying. And it's like,
Let's just dump the tea into the harbor.
yeah, that's where we're at.
Let's
We're
dump the
long overdue for that.
iPhones into the nuclear waste.
If that doesn't happen soon,
we're
we're
gonna find out about it.
it's going to
Is it
get
something
worse
they feed?
as long as we don't do that. And it has to unfortunately be, it has to be everyone, like it
Yeah.
has to be at least half of people on board with it.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
have to be, yeah, I've heard about all.
The
of
thing
those
is
things.
though, it's like that's either gonna happen, like people are either gonna have enough
It's
and
very
finally do
scary
that.
to see some of the shit that's happening in our country, because I see the shit that's happening in the rest of the world, and that shit's like not good. Like it's pretty bad out there.
Yeah,
And then there's people here that are just like, no, that's
well, our country's
Living off
making
the
it
fat
worse
of the land.
everywhere. Our country's making it worse for every other country. Like they're doing shit to in
it's our
Ukraine.
government, yeah,
Well, yeah, not us, but like
yeah.
But yeah,
our government.
if
Yeah.
That
you-
we
if you
didn't
talk
fucking
to-
vote for. I didn't vote for Biden.
If you talk to a lot of people outside of America and you ask them, I always ask, what do you and like the people around you in your country think about America? And I feel like we're like fucking Disney World, bro. Like
Oh, we
are,
the,
dude.
we are the motherfucking
Yeah.
Disney
We
World
are.
of Earth, dude.
all of that being said, like everything I just
People,
said,
like,
it's still the best time
risk their
ever to be
fucking
alive in the
lives.
best country ever.
People
Yeah,
risk their lives every day
but-
to come here.
But I
And
think we can't get comfortable with that just
My
because it's
fucking-
better than
you
it's ever
can't-
been.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean they can tell us we can't do drugs. Like who the
Right,
fuck, who
no,
the fuck are
it's-
you? I'm an adult. Like why?
This is
We're treated like
Disneyland,
children.
god damn it.
It's
Should be
Disneyland and we're
allowed
all
to do
children
drugs
of
at
it.
Disneyland.
Mickey Mouse is like, oh, don't do drugs, kids. It's like,
Right.
who the fuck are you, Mickey? Get the fuck out of here.
Fantasia, drugs.
Totally,
That was,
dude. Yeah,
that was
totally.
literally when the first one came out, they marketed it towards a psychedelic audience. They were trying to create a new medium of art,
Hmm.
like rather than music or theater or paintings. It was like this moving painting in a theater to symphonies that you're familiar with, you know, and it just didn't, I guess, hit enough numbers for them to continue. But they wanted it to start basically like a animated music video, I guess.
Yeah, I want to watch it again now. It's been a long time.
It's a
I'm
good
gonna.
one.
I'm
watched it
definitely a
this
trip
past
next time I watch
year.
it.
It was cool.
And Fantasia 2000, this one.
Wait, Fantasia 2000.
That's
and-
another one. That's
okay.
that came out in the year 2000.
Oh,
And
I
did you
didn't see
say
that one.
Fantasia 2?
No, I said I saw it recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a good time.
It is a good time.
That's
Dude, yeah, the world can be whatever the fuck we want it to be. Like everyone could just chill the fuck out
Yeah.
and like stop murdering each other if they wanted to. You
Yeah,
know?
and
It's a
I-
little bit instigated.
I'm
though.
so
Like,
with you guys, but you read in history books and it's like people like us have been saying this the whole time in human history,
Yeah.
and people like them have been doing that the whole fucking
For
time.
sure.
Well, we've been talking too much.
For
Let's just
sure,
fucking
dude.
do something about it.
Yeah, I mean if
Then we have to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
but if they're
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
for me, like I'm
Right.
not going out without
Right.
a fucking fight, right? And
Well,
they
they
are
are coming
coming
for
for me.
us.
They actively are. like,
Especially you. Yeah.
yeah.
It's yeah.
They always have. They always try to get us. They haven't got us yet. And they will never.
That's like another example of like, I don't know. The whole thing's fucking sus. Everything's
Yeah.
sus. Ukraine is sus. Israel is.
real.
I mean, not
Everything's upside
Palestine
down.
is sus. Like it's all fucking real.
It's
making
okay.
America a lot of money.
Because
Oh,
the
yeah.
Jews have guns now, so it's okay.
That's
We're
good.
gonna save the world.
Yeah.
I
well,
promise.
Everyone should to prevent shit like that. Like exactly, that's my point. Like we should have that here. Everyone should fucking do that, and then we don't need police. It's like you're saying in Israel. Like everyone just
Well, everyone in Israel is forced to because literally everyone outside of Israel is trying to kill everyone in Israel.
yeah. So it's better that they do than not.
Yeah, and I mean, in America, they're not. They're trying to do it too, but they're not doing it with fucking rockets and machine guns.
Yeah.
They're doing it with TikTok, and
They're trying to do what?
And,
like wage.
like fucking just indoctrinate us,
Oh,
basically, like
yeah.
change us.
Yeah.
They're doing it with TikTok. They're doing it in the universities. Like Qatar is the biggest foreign donor at American universities. They fund like the entire Middle Eastern department.
Yeah.
And they call it fucking history, and it's not. It's a social studies, and basically
Yeah.
they just like view the world through their one lens, and they're like, "This is correct." And you liberal college students, if you don't believe this, you're a racist fucking bigot.
Right.
And those people are Nazis, so we need to go protest against them.
Yeah. It's funny how those people went really quick from punch a Nazi to kill the Jews.
Yeah,
Real quick.
real
Right.
quick,
Like overnight. It's like, oh, y'all are fucking retarded.
real quick.
Like,
They were so quick to call literally everyone a fucking Nazi.
yeah.
Trump's a Nazi. but
But
the Jews actually are the real oppressors, and they control everything, and they're trying to take over the world, which is literally what Hitler said.
it's it like they're like waving it in people's faces too. Like, but even before October 6th, they were like Trudeau with what he did. You remember that?
With the truckers.
No. Oh man. So Trudeau, his administration gave a medal to
Oh yeah.
us to a Nazi.
To a Nazi.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, we didn't realize what we did. It's like, yeah, you fucking
What do
did.
you
That's a dog
mean you
whistle.
didn't realize what you did?
And then last year, you showed me this. The New York Times printed a
They
swastika
printed a swastika,
into the
yeah.
crossword puzzle. Like they've been letting people know. Like they're like, we're Nazis. Hey, this is a Nazi. Like rise up. And I'm like,
I don't
holy
know,
shit.
man.
Yeah,
There's all these
fucking-
conspiracies about like the Nazis never really stopped.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't fucking know.
it's-
more
that's
of a-
I'm not.
true.
it's
I'm
more
not
of a
one.
it's
Not
definitely
a
true.
trend, but a statement. It's more of a fashion statement. That wheel was originally a Buddhist symbol.
Yeah.
Did
It
you know
was.
that?
Yeah.
It was never supposed to. And another one, you gotta commend. He took the wheel from the Buddhist, and then he took that fucking mustache, dude, that no one can have anymore. You know what I mean? Like you can't get away with it. No
Charlie
one can have
Chaplin
their
had
mustache.
that one.
Like
He
you
wasn't
are
Charlie
just
I think you
Chaplin.
could
letting
rock it,
everybody.
bro. You could rock it.
No, dude, you're letting everybody know if you have that mustache.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nowadays, a haircut too.
Yeah, that's a lot. I
There's
don't like that.
there's way more Nazis in the world than I thought until
Well, we knew that the Muslim world was full of
It's just going
Islamo-Nazis.
back to the aliens and the religion and all that. It's like anytime you're talking about Jewish people, there's a race of people and there's a religion of people, and
Yeah.
they're both. That's what's that throws
Well-
everything off in the whole thing. That's why
They're
there's
an
so much
indigenous
controversy, because it's not just this people from this land. It's this religion and this way of thinking and like their science. And I mean, most of the time they're both that.
It's
or
the idea
a Jewish
of-
person is both,
of
but
the
not
people.
always, you know.
and what really is unfortunate is if a Jewish person does do something bad, and if like it's going to come back on Jewish people. Because
well, if anyone
People
on
are
any
just
team,
allowed to be fucking racist to
anyone
Jews.
anyone in any
Yeah.
group, whether it's like a fucking basketball team or a band, if you do something controversial, it falls back on your team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's because they associate race and religion. It's because it's an ethno-religion. Even secular
tribalism.
Jews are
Mhm.
punished
Right.
for.
We are
So
tribes.
there is, like-
12,
Yeah, it's
12
just-
tribes of
right.
Judah.
Now
Yeah.
you can also look at this the
So
opposite
everybody
way
though, too.
and say that these people that are doing bad things are able to
Yeah.
hide behind Jews.
Right.
They can say Jewish people do this. This is Jews control the media, and it's just one guy hiding behind
Yeah.
everything.
You lived in LA?
My whole life,
Like Hollywood?
I've been, yeah, I've been around.
Is it true?
Did you, okay, here's the fun, okay, you ready? You ready? So you know how when Irish and Italian people got to America, there were certain industries that couldn't,
Yeah.
it was like Irish need not apply, they were segregated. They were second class citizens, kind of. When Jewish people got to America, it was sort of the same. It was like
Yeah.
Jews couldn't enter the banking industry or whatever, financial industries. They didn't, my family home was in Bel Air. And on the deed to
Whoa.
like a lot of homes in Bel Air, because Bel Air was established in the 20s, it's written in the deeds, like you can't sell this house to a black person or a Jewish person.
Fuck. Holy shit.
That's wild.
It's funny now because most all of it's owned by Jews, but with the entertainment industry, Jews were not allowed to
Yeah.
be in like the financial industry and stuff like that. So what they did is they went on Coney Island, and they did fucking sideshows, and they did plays, and they built themselves a fucking industry. Like most of the major networks were like founded by Jewish people.
Yeah.
They made movies, they made TV shows. So like
Yeah.
they built their own fucking industry. They said, okay, you're not gonna let us
Yeah.
do participate in your society. Capitalism
own.
does not discriminate,
Well, I think when you hear about that controversy in Hollywood, a lot of it comes down to people that have adopted Jesus into their processing system, living in this place that they're claiming is a bunch of people to work with that have not adopted those same principles. And I think that that's where when you're diving into like, why are these two different groups of people having problems, or why do people have a problem with this group? I think America.
It's all Jesus's fault.
America is like a Christian playground, and Jewish people have all the same principles, but no Jesus. It's like literally Christianity is just Judaism plus Jesus.
God damn it, Jesus!
then-
You ruined everything.
I don't know.
Jesus was Jewish though, like.
Right. And I think that's where it comes down to when people start talking about that stuff. It's like each religion has its own version of ethics and morals that they deem like this is the way that it has to be. And behind those ethics and morals are different values. And the deeper that you get into the religion and the farther that you get into like the ways that they're trying to like mold you on a daily basis of your practice, it just gets farther and farther apart. And I think when you have people that are really into their ways of thinking, working in the same rooms together, I personally think it should go awesome, and it makes everything better. It makes everything like there's more to offer. But
There's more angles.
a
to
lot of
listen.
people,
Yeah.
because they're human,
They
just
have to be
can't
willing to
fucking
listen.
do it. They just can't like people that think Jesus is the answer, or are working with people that don't care, and because they don't care, their values are different. They're running their business differently. They're thinking differently about the way that they're doing things, and that whole thing turns into racism. You know what I mean? And it's just like
It does when you associate race and religion. Like, it becomes a race
Well,
thing.
and morals, like I think for Christians, it's like we are moral people because we're following this thing, we're following the way of God or whatever.
Right.
And so these Jews over here aren't, according to us.
I think it's an absolute tragedy, but I honestly do not think, because of the way the religion is set up, I do not think this will stop.
Yeah.
I think Jews are going to continue to be
It's
persecuted,
Star Wars for sure.
and it's horrible. But
So can we ever end racism?
I think
It's tribalism.
I think religions have a much easier time if it's not tied to race, because then you can go join that and be a part of it. But like, if you can't join it, then what you've done is you've created a them and us.
I mean, you can convert to Judaism.
Right.
Can you?
Yeah.
You can. I mean,
Like,
you can just
It
read
takes
about
a long process, but you can.
Can you be rejected for it? Like, can you try and
I don't
be
know.
rejected? Okay. Well, that's good.
Maybe.
You
That's
probably
good
have
that
to
you
have
can
a certain, like,
I
you
mean-
probably have to practice enough. You can't just show up and be like, I have
Yeah,
decided.
you have to like
that
study
I'm
under a
Jew."
rabbi, and
Like,
the rabbi has
they're
to
not gonna be like, okay.
convert you.
See, but that's different from every other religion, where you can just, I'm a Christian, and you don't have to know shit about it.
Yeah.
And it's so.
Sorry that we have a vetting process. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't let just anybody in.
That's why they're the chosen people.
That's like a club, and it's an exclusive club at that point.
I think
And there's
Why do you want to be us so bad?
I feel like
because you're God's chosen people.
Well, okay, but you're never gonna be black either. Like,
Christianity.
I want to be clear. I don't have a problem with
no,
it.
you can convert to Judaism. I will teach you about Judaism.
Yeah, actually, I would love to learn.
It's fascinating.
I want to be a Jew.
Forget about
It's more
Jesus.
ancient though. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's what I was about to say is Christianity-
Christians stole all
Yeah,
our shit,
and
basically.
but even going back before what Judaism was, even some of their old like beliefs, like Kabbalah and shit like that, like the thousands of year old, it's like they had it figured out. Like they figured out what it was and how it works, and gave you some really super basic principles to look by, and that was enough. And I feel like they did well, and people got bored and like, what can we add? And it's like it's just been thousands of years of what else can we add to the truth. And now it's all about the art and the fucking trend and the fashion idea of the whole thing anyways. But the early like Kabbalistic writings and stuff like that I've looked at are like, oh, that's like they knew about like the Matrix and shit.
Mhm.
Like
It's shit we were
Yeah,
talking about
dude.
earlier. Like, yeah, that it once that's another thing. You have to be initiated into Kabbalah,
Right.
and we know about it now because of the internet.
yeah.
But
Oh,
like,
technically, women are not allowed to.
yeah,
study
and you have to
Kabbalah.
be over 40.
You have to be over 40.
And like, so it's this exclusive club, and it's like that's you. I am fundamentally
gatekeeping a
against
little
that
bit.
part. I'm fundamentally
There's
against
a
the
little bit of
gatekeeping part.
gatekeeping happening, but it's like you can't handle
there's a
the truth.
reason-
And I want to be clear also, that's more of a problem. And I don't have a problem with it personally, but that is more of a problem for Jewish people than it is for other people because of it creates this unfair.
It's sacred, dude. It's
Thing
like
to
But if you
it's
know
not
what
for
it-
everybody.
if
It's
you-
a sacred
If
thing.
you
I
take
agree
the
with
time
you.
to like,
But the idiots are going to continue to attack because of that, and that's just a sad reality.
The
we live
idiots
in.
are gonna attack no matter what.
because they don't understand what
Maybe
it's
you're
all
right.
about.
And it's not my job to fucking say it. What I love about Judaism is it's like I'm not going to your house and telling you that you need to be fucking saved.
Yeah,
Like Christians did that shit.
yeah,
Muslims are doing that shit right now. They're like, you're an infidel and you need to convert to Islam or else
Yeah.
you're a fucking sinner or whatever.
mhm,
You're gonna burn in hell for eternity. No, Jews are like this. I'm gonna live my fucking life over
Yeah.
here. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Yeah.
Just leave me the fuck alone. And they're the ones who are constantly being
I think
thrown shit at.
I don't think it's fair. It's what's happening though, and I just unfortunately don't see it changing.
Well, it's gonna change because Jews have guns now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
they-
they
yeah.
find they're gonna
Absolutely.
find another.
Jews
Jews with guns,
Dude.
part 2. This time it's personal.
yeah,
It's crazy to think about because like when the Holocaust happened, Jews did not have guns. Jews did not have a way to defend themselves.
Yeah,
The first thing that the Islamic Republic did when they took power over Iran is take their fucking guns away. Australia gave up their guns, Britain gave up their guns, Canada barely has any guns. We still have ours though.
Yeah.
So it's basically us and Israel against the world at
Fuck
this
yeah.
point.
Let's go.
Unless the Brits want to get their heads out their fucking asses and the Australians, but I don't
I
know.
highly doubt that. I highly doubt that.
Trudeau.
Sure don't.
maybe
Trudeau,
the Jews and the
Castro.
Muslims just need to figure out Jesus.
They just need to kiss and make up.
You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
the Muslims need to stop being so batshit fucking crazy and they need to enter the fucking 21st century.
Or Jesus.
They need to enter Jesus.
Through Jesus, I don't care. Like whatever will get them here
Oh my god.
because they're clearly not here.
Well, it's just like
This is what happens when you ban people from drinking and doing fun things.
I
Honestly,
think radical terrorism is a very convenient scapegoat. I think it's 9/11.
do you think it's not a real thing?
No, I think it's a real thing.
Okay,
I think it's
so-
like a CIA propped up thing though.
No,
Like,
it definitely is happening.
like they're funded. Like Biden just gave he left a bunch of shit in Afghanistan for
That's
him.
true. You're right.
Like our government is funding
and we
this.
just gave a bunch of money to Iran, who
It's-
gives
Yeah,
it
I
to the
think it's
fucking
all a
Hamas.
play.
This is what happened in 9/11. We had a very cartoon ha 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 villain to go
Right.
blow up.
Right.
And it's like, because we are a money machine when it comes to
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
we
all a
keep
show,
doing
dude.
that.
Who's
Well,
making the money right now?
The investor, like special investors and the weapons manufacturers, anyone invested in that, our politicians that are invested in these things.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, things are great here. Don't get me wrong, but that's how they're keeping us from fucking
Yeah.
breaking it.
Yeah,
Because, like, it's fucked up the rest of the world.
it has.
we
Yeah,
went
there's so
everywhere.
much. Well, it's funny because, you know, after the attacks happened, everybody started talking about it.
Yeah.
But this has been a thing that I've always, like that topic of like, what the fuck is Israel? Like,
Dude,
why
it's
is
been
there a
happening.
sacred land?
Yeah.
And like, and everything in the book of Genesis and all the fucking obviously alien shit. And it's like, what's going on over there? That everybody's and everybody's like, oh, Jews are this and Jews are that. And it's like, what's happening? Like,
Mhm.
I'm over, like, I grew up in a place where the classroom and the workplace and the family dinner table all had people of all the different races. No one gives a fuck. Who cares? Like, we can joke about it and we can talk about it, but like, everywhere I've been my whole life, it's been pretty cool. The most racism I've really seen is like comedic. You know what I mean? And I've never really seen stuff like that, so I'm not used to that. So when I look at all these things, I just don't really understand like how does that happen? How is someone
So, like-
that like far gone in their brain that they see past like, you know, they're just looking at skin color or
They're
differences in where you're
indoctrinated
from.
that way. They're growing up that
Yeah, that's
way.
just dumb.
Like
though.
I've been I've
Dude.
seen racism and anti-Semitism like in my life, and like my grandparents lived through it in Iran, like being a Jewish person in Iran. people fucking never liked the Jews, and Jews were second class citizens
Yeah.
under Islam. Like they couldn't build their houses taller than Muslim people's houses and shit
Right.
like that. But I mean, yeah, that was always a thing. And my parents told me like, don't always tell everyone you're Jewish. Like, be careful. That's just how we were fucking raised to think.
I have a really sick closet if you ever.
Fuck no. I'm not getting. We're done. We're not going back in the
Okay.
closet. We have guns now.
Well, I'm down.
T-shirt, dude.
I'm down to kill Nazis for my Jewish friends.
Thank you, dude.
We're
Like,
we're getting ready with the Nazi zombie games and shit. They're like,
Fuck yeah, let's
I
go.
love,
teaching us.
dude, movies where Nazis die. Like, those
yeah,
are always
yeah,
good.
Oh, those are
that's
great.
like a whole genre.
Bro,
It is.
Inglorious Bastards is my shit. The Jew
Fucking-
bear.
It's the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my shit. Yeah, fuck Nazis.
Dude, you know how girlfriends ask their boyfriends, like, if I was a snail, would you still love me?
Yeah.
The other day I asked Josh, I was like, would you kill a terrorist for me?
What do you say?
He's like, yeah.
He's like, fuck no.
What
I
do you mean?
use you as a shield.
Like, I want to kill a terrorist one day.
I mean, yeah, that's a noble goal, I think.
I mean,
kill
it's for my
terrorists.
life. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't, I will die.
Yeah. Well, luckily we're not there yet.
No.
That'll be tomorrow.
But we're training. We're ready for you guys.
Are these the questions you ask everybody?
Yeah, I didn't get around to a lot of them because some of them were kind of personal.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can. We should probably
What
start
is
wrapping it up.
love?
But these are I left a lot of them out this time around because we were
We were on
free
we were on
flowing
vibe,
anyway. Yeah. But
Always.
okay, Dusty, have you ever had your heart
yeah.
broken?
Was it
Oh
love?
man,
and
I
was
don't
it
even know
love?
what that is. I don't know. I do know that I always tell myself for every podcast, don't smoke weed. Every single time, dude, because I'm always like, man, you would be so much better at talking if you weren't high. It's
I
pretty
think it's-
simple, dude. And every time I mean, that's why I was late, because I smoked weed.
I think it
When I
was.
came here and did it again, it's like, oh, wow,
I think this
words.
has gone perfectly.
Words are hard.
It's
I think it's
perfect.
appropriate
Yeah, it's
for the
appropriate.
setting.
Well, you're always welcome back to come on the show and not be high and
Yeah,
have that
next time.
conversation.
Next
Yeah.
time.
Thank you guys for being here. Always great to have you, Jasmin. I'm sure we'll have more conversations like this in the
Won't be
future.
high next time.
Check out the reveal and check out Sheetanist. Big things coming soon for both of them. See you next week.